Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today we are going to be talking about the new live stream that just dropped this morning. I skimmed through the video, I took a bunch of screenshots that I thought, would be fun to talk about with you guys and just kind of give my overall impressions of the, live stream going forward, especially because we don't really get that many live streams in Ever Crisis. I think we get like 2 per year, so always super fun, especially with the game kind of, these type of games always tend to decelerate, decelerate. I'm sure one of you guys will help me figure out the right word for that, after anniversaries, right? So we've gotten Zack, we've gotten Sid and Lucia, and now we've gotten Yuffie, although I'm kind of a bit confused over the, how these characters are coming out, especially after they've, kind of clarified that certain characters are going to be in specific class groups, and the recent banners just kind of seems like a step away from that. But honestly, I think that it's a good thing that we have banners that are skippable, guys. I think this is a great thing. I think the game needs to have slow moments. I do not think it has to be FOMO to the roof every single time something is coming out. When that happens, when we start to want that, that is when we start to get limited banner after limited banner after limited banner, which leads to burnout, right? So right now, there's just, not too much going on, which gives people time to, spend a little bit of time away from the game, go outside, go on an adventure. That's what life is about. It's nice to have, these kind of games to play in our downtime and stuff like that. But I honestly think these periods of downtime are healthy for the game overall in general. So, anyways, that being said, let's talk a little bit about the live stream. So before I go into that, I do want to say that we still have 2 to 3 guilds still recruiting for this coming Guild War, guys. So if you guys are interested in joining our alliance, joining a great team of players that come together, work together, fight together, collaborate together to fight in Guild War, not just Guild War, but crash battles, all kind of stuff. We have a great community, so if you guys are looking for a guild, like I said, we have a few recruiting, so either drop a comment in the video saying that you're looking for a guild, or just join our Discord. There is a link in the description of this video, the Curseborn Discord, and then just shoot me a DM, and I will put you in contact with the guild leader that I think that is, kind of the style of guild that you're looking for. So I will help personally place you guys where you want to go. Alright, so that being said, guys, let's get in and let's take a look at this anniversary. So I took some screenshots and we're just going to go through and talk about them all. Alright, so we finally have a roadmap. I'm not sure who translated this, but thank you guys to whoever it is out there, and thank you to Do for sharing it with me, a good friend of mine. Alright, so here we have a roadmap for May, June, July, and August. So always a great thing to see, guys. We do have some story chapters coming out, so the beginning of each month. So we have a Crisis Core Chapter 7 coming out. We have, the Chapter 4 of First Soldier coming out, which I think is probably the most interesting stories here. I've already played Crisis Core on PSP and the remastered version. Final Fantasy VII, I don't know how many times I've beaten that game now, but it's a lot. So First Soldier being something new that we haven't seen, that's more backstory in the characters, always love that. So super excited about that. And we have a Final Fantasy Chapter 9 chapter. So I think that Final Fantasy VII is probably coming to a close either in this chapter or maybe in Chapter 10. So it's hard to say. And then I'm guessing that we're going to get a new kind of story sequence probably around the 2-year anniversary, right? I'm guessing somewhere around there. My guess would be before the end of the year. Now, it could be before Crisis. It could be, Advent Children. I don't know. I think Advent Children will come for a while. They promised Dirge of Cerberus. They promised before Crisis. So they have a bunch of options that they could take. Hopefully they take one that is really fun for all of us. Now we have, the Eva Kura Fight Edition School. So there's going to be basically all of May for the April Fool's joke. And I didn't actually cover this. For the April Fool's joke, they put this thing out on Twitter saying there's like the Final Fantasy VII Academy and all the characters are going to be going to school there and they all have their own special outfits and stuff like that. And so we're actually going to be getting a line of banners from this kind of school perspective, which I think will be pretty fun. I really personally like the high fantasy costumes and stuff like that. I think this kind of stuff is fun, but it's not really where my heart really lies. But I still think that it could be cool, especially because I heard in the live stream that on some of these banners, there's going to be a guaranteed weapon every 2 stamps. Essentially meaning that you could guarantee OB10 by the end of the second stamp card, which is really, really, really cool. Very generous. I'm hoping these aren't limited, even though I feel like there's a chance they could be. Probably, right? Because this is going to be happening next month in May, and then our next collaboration is not going to be all the way until August, guys, which is going to be Dragon Quest Tact, which is going to be super cool. They released one costume for that, for Sephiroth, which we'll take a look at here in a second. So, and then I have some more screenshots from this later on. Other than that, there's going to be a new event at the beginning of June, or beginning to mid of June, which looks like Angeal right here in his, I can't remember the name of this form, but hopefully it's going to be like an escalation event. It should be pretty hard. I think it'll be pretty fun. Then we're going to get a Final Fantasy VI collaboration revival, right? I honestly think Final Fantasy VI was the weakest collaboration that Ever Crisis has had since the beginning, so hopefully they bring something to it that kind of spices it up. Probably it'll be an easy skip, but it's hard to say, right? And then we have some functional improvements, organization, lock, and copy. Not exactly sure what this means, but you know, as these things come out, we'll talk more about it. And then going into July, we have Chapter 9 released for FF7. We have a seasonal like beach event. You know, we've gotten released a costume for Zack and Angeal, which, you know, I'm not as psyched on the dude costumes, but it is what it is. I know there's going to be a ton of people that are psyched on them also. Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to see. I'm personally really waiting for Barrett's sailor costume, or like some of the Rebirth costumes, you know, because I feel like that's like just a really perfect kind of fit to the game. They're already created. They're awesome. So I guess we'll just have to see what goes on there. Plus, Zack already had a beach costume. Then we're going to get a new double summon, which is going to be Leviathan and Bahamut. So that should be super cool. I bet that one's going to be pretty dang hard. And then there's going to be a stream phase update where, you know, during the sigil breaks, you'll be able to, you know, use certain sigils to create certain buffs or something like that. I couldn't quite fully understand it, but I'm sure as we get closer, we'll talk about it more. And then we have in August the full-blown Dragon Quest collaboration coming. So obviously they're going to put a collaboration literally right before the anniversary, because that is the surefire, most simplest way to get us to drop our crystals. So for me, I'm probably going to be saving through a lot of this. I don't know. This is interesting to me, especially with being able to OB10 weapons a lot easier. I feel like this is kind of a rare event that we should take advantage of, but we'll just have to see what kind of banners are coming with everything. All right, so let's go to the next one right here. So here we have the first collaboration from the Dragon Quest. It's going to be Sephiroth. He's going to be playing this dude, which, oh, his name starts with a P, and I cannot remember it right now. If you guys remember, please let me know. Obviously, this dude looks super cool. I feel like this dude was literally created based on Sephiroth, just looking at him. So Sephiroth is a good kind of opportunity for him, and if we shoot over, you can actually see their approach with it, and I really like this costume. So, you know, they said in the live stream that they're going to be kind of, you know, solidifying the characters more into their classes, which seems like not what they've been doing in the past few weeks, but I really hope that they do that, right? I think that each character needs to be fully solidified into their own class, and then kind of really open them up from there. So, man, I keep wanting to, I can't remember this dude's name who he's taken the collab for right here. But honestly, this costume looks super sick. This dude is fire, I think, kind of like fiery in the original. At least in the War of the Visions collaboration, this character was fire. So this might be a fire banner for Sephiroth. I feel like it would be a fire banner for Sephiroth, but super curious to see the other characters as well. And hopefully we get word on when Cloud's ultimate weapon is going to come, because man, they are really putting it off for a long time. But I'm super excited about this costume right here. So definitely something I'll be saving for. Hopefully it'll be just a like smash out of the park DPS costume for Sephiroth, which I feel like would be great for him. Alright, so the next banner that's coming on tomorrow is going to be a Kate Sith banner. Now look at this dude right here. This is just cracks me up, this entire banner idea, but I think it should be pretty fun. As far as I know, this weapon is going to create some type of weakness, so I don't know if it's exploit weakness. It could be. And it's also going to raise the attack of all allies. So this is going to be the Guild War banner. So it does look like we're not getting a new physical lightning DPS for this event, which is a bit unfortunate, right? Because now it just basically locks everyone into Cloud or Zack if you pulled for the Monster Hunter rerun banner, or the Monster Hunter original banner for him, the Zinogre Blade. So it's definitely going to be, you know, harder for newer players for sure, but I think a lot of people will be running Cloud. And yeah, I'm just curious to see how this is all going to fall into place on Guild War 10. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, and you know, it's nice to see Kate Sith getting a little love and kind of a pretty funny costume as well. So I think it's cool. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so here we have the first of the two beach outfits that are going to be dropping sometime in July. This is Angeal. I think the outfit's cool. It's just like, guys, you got to understand, like, I grew up, you know, like, on the beach. I grew up surfing. I surfed for 15 years, like half my life, right? And people just don't wear this to the beach. You know, like, how are you going to wear full sneakers to the beach and walk around on the sand? It just doesn't make sense. Plus, why the shirt? Why the shirt at the beach? Doesn't make sense to me. So, but I like the shirt. Personally, I'd wear it. And I think the Buster Sword is kind of an interesting idea right here with the rope on top and the, I don't know what's going on with it here, but I think it should be pretty cool. So we'll get a chance to see more when these start to come out, or maybe when they leak more about it. We also have Zack right here. Zack already has a beach costume. I feel like they could have probably done a different character, one boy, one girl. You know, so I'm not super psyched on Zack getting another beach costume. This one seems more beach appropriate though. He's got the flip-flops on, he's got the open shirt, he's got the board shorts, and the necklace. So he's got more beach vibes going on for sure. But definitely curious to see where this is going to go. Obviously, there's going to be some type of really good DPS setup for Zack, since, you know, he's kind of lacking in that category, and he is classified as a DPS. So hopefully he'll get something really good for all you Zack fans out there. I'm a huge Zack fan. I just feel like he doesn't get enough love in the game personally. Alright, so here are some of the characters from the Evakura. I can't remember the name of the school that they go to. But yeah, it's going to be Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, Zack. I don't know how many of these characters are getting banners. I know for sure Tifa, Barret, and Aerith are for sure getting banners. I believe Tifa's is Wind, Barrett's is a Wind Imperil with a Veil, and Aerith's, I'm not really sure. Cloud already has a Nail Bat in the guild weapons, so I can't really see them giving him another one. But I guess we'll just have to see. I guess this is just a regular bat. Like, this one doesn't have nails in the end of it. So I think it'll still be pretty cool. I think the month of May will be pretty fun for everyone. Hopefully they're not all limited, but even if they are, if you get a guaranteed weapon every 2 stamps, that's going to be super, super solid. So anyway, let's go on. Alright, so here's some of the other characters. Not sure if we'll see all of them. I know for sure we're definitely not going to see all 10 of these characters, right? Because there's 10 characters right here. We'll probably see 3 or 4. Not really sure. But hopefully they start to flesh out some of these character classes. Like, for example, you know, the Commodore Wand dropped a long time ago with Monster Hunter, and so many people have been upset that, you know, it hasn't seen a rerun. Now, we don't know why it's not seeing a rerun, but, like, guys, let's be real. It doesn't even need a rerun. They just need to give Matt or Red 13 a Comrade type weapon that's not limited, that's easier for that for players can go in on. They can catch up to people that have Comrade, plain and simple. Just give them a weapon. It's been in the game for so long that I don't think it's going to take away from the game to, you know, make a non-limited version of the Comrade Wand and give it to one of the other healers. So I think that would be really cool. Alright, so here's Tifa's costume right here. This is going to be her weapon, Masanga. Not really sure how this is a weapon. It looks more like a bracelet, which we can see right here, but I think it'll be pretty cool. So I'm curious to see all these banners. I feel like they're going to be a lot of fun. So, and it is cool to see that this is like, you know, becoming a real thing, since apparently it was an April Fool's joke. Then we have Aerith right here. This is her new rod. It looks like a bamboo kind of rod. So this one should be cool. I like Aerith's costume right here as well. I don't think she needs the mask. Let's show her pretty face. But honestly, yeah, like I was saying, guys, these are looking to be pretty interesting. I'm not really sure. I don't have all the details on these, but, you know, as they come out in the future, we will take a look at them individually, one at a time. And it does look like that is the last of my screenshots. So, you know, obviously I didn't cover the entire stream. It's in Japanese. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm also working a lot right now, and we have the Guild War on the horizon. But I just wanted to show you guys some of the recaps that I thought were cool from there. Now, there is going to be a live stream recap on the 24th, which I believe is Thursday, that is going to recap it in English. So, you know, anyone is going to be able to watch the whole thing in English and check it out and see all the little details. And obviously I'm going to watch it when that comes out. And, you know, I'll share things with you guys in future videos about things that they revealed that maybe we may have missed along the way. Obviously, since I wasn't going into like extreme detail on anything, I just wanted to give you guys an overall look at the roadmap, which so many people have been asking for a long time. I think, you know, it bodes well for the game. I think the game is overall in a good place right now. I think the recent banners are just a little bit of a like stumble for them. Maybe they had these banners and these costumes already created a while back before they came up with the idea with the classes. In some ways, it feels like the team at Applebot had not really planned out in advance, right? It seems like they're kind of sometimes tripping on their own shoelaces as we go forward into the game. But it's okay. It's a learning process for everyone, and they will only get better as we go along. And so I think we just got to be patient. If they put out banners that are easier to skip, then so be it. That's good for us, guys. It's not, like I said, it's not a bad thing to have a slower few period of like weeks. Like, go outside, have adventures, you know, go do something you haven't done before, eat something you haven't done before, and, you know, obviously the game will go in ebbs and flows, and now we're going into a higher rise ebb. We're going to be getting a bunch of stuff in May, all the way building up to the collaboration in August, then the 2-year anniversary in September. So a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Like I said, if you are looking for a guild, there's only one day left, guys, to join a guild for Guild War number 10. So like I said, drop a comment, join the Discord, leave me a DM, and I will help get you guys situated with a guild that best fits your own style. So that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.